we're going to bring you guys an awesome game called Yashima by Greenbrier Games. But before we do that, we're going to introduce ourselves. I'm Tim.
I'm Anna.
And she's not enthusiastic enough. But anyways, we're going to bring you guys an awesome review of Yashima, which is Legend of the Kami Masters. This game is completely badass. Sorry, kids, but you just heard my French, my whatever you want to call it.
That's English.
So, yes, ass is English. So let's go ahead and go over to the table and show you guys this badass game from Greenbrier Games. Alright guys, here we have the box to Yashima, the Legend of the Kami Masters. And a little smoke for effect by Greenbrier Games. So I'll show you guys the back of the box. It's going to give you an example of some of the game layouts of the miniatures and cards there.
Basically the components.
Yes. So now we're going to open this up and show you guys what's inside of the box. Now, do know that this plays 2 to 4 players, 45 minutes, ages 14 and up.
In here we have your tiles for movement and such. We'll show you how the game plays here in a minute. Your rule book. It's beautifully colored, easy to read. There's an example of gameplay in it. And there's also an awesome story for each of the Kami Masters.
Which I have yet to read.
The Kamis themselves. And then there's a glossary. We love glossaries. And then this shows you the expansions.
Yeah. I was going to say, glossaries are our friend. We have used it many times. Here's the miniatures. This is the character that I play most of the time, and I don't even know his name. What a friend I am. This is...
I think he's Roscoe or something.
This is the character that Anna played, right?
I think
oh, no, you've played this one and the other one.
This little guy.
And I just want to jump straight to why this game's awesome. But I can't. So let's just slow your roll, boy. Alright, so we'll show you Rossemu. Here's his, well, there's 2 player cards for each character. And then there's also, on the flip side, restore cards and a little reference sheet to use during your turn, which is part of your character card, so it's kind of nice. And it's one of those games you don't have to constantly keep flipping the thing over. You only need it every once in a while. So, there's that. And then each character is also going to have a tome book. So kind of like a special effects book, per se. And we'll show you guys how that works in the gameplay. And then each character has their own set deck. Let me get all of... Yep, that's it. So, there's not very many cards for their deck, but once you mix them up with their
Kami deck.
Their Kami deck.
And there's
a
Tortoise.
empty of cards. So Tortoise.
Phoenix. Tiger. And Dragon. And there's some cards that have kind of the same picture reversed, but the text can be different. The little karma and attacks can be different, but they all have a little grid pattern there.
Yeah, and then it's kind of neat that they used the same artwork but mirrored it, because the attacks can either attack to the left or attack to the right, depending on which card you have. And there's been a lot of times that I needed the reversed one, but I didn't have it. So here's some tokens. So each character is going to have tokens. They're going
Their
to
own
react.
specialty.
Yes. My character runs off of Spirit.
And I've used the burn character and the...
And Blind.
We haven't used
Rancor. So that is one that we have yet to try out.
And these are attack move coins, and they have a really cool mechanic that we will go over.
Yep. So that is all the components and a quick little look at. So let's go ahead and jump over to setting the game up and showing you guys how to play. Alright guys, so we have everything set up. Anna has her tome book for her character. I have my tome book for my character. Anna, what is your character's name?
Mine is Akiko.
So you will see the name here, over here by the card name, and then on the very bottom right here, it will say Akiko's Tome.
And also on this, it shows her adaptability.
Yes.
And that's adapt-ability. 2 words.
And then I have my tome book, which is obviously going to match my character's name, which is Rasamu. I think that's how you pronounce it. So he's kind of like a monk type of character. Anna's is more of like a warlock, I guess.
She's like a flamethrower.
We'll go with warlock. So what you're going to do is once you pick your character, you'll have your character's deck, and then you will pick your kami. And you'll pick your deck. So I picked the dragons. So
and I picked tortoise.
The dragons you'll take your character deck and your kami deck, put them together, shuffle them up, and then once they are shuffled, move on to the next step. So mine are not shuffled completely, but just for this video, we'll just say that they're completely shuffled. So then you'll flip out 2 cards, which are going to start your karma pool. Karma pool. So your karma pool is basically, obviously, your karma points. And you're going to use those karma points to your tome
So
deck.
when a card's in the karma pool, the only thing that matters is the number on there, unless if it says fate. And you check when it goes into the karma pool if it says fate.
Yes,
and then you do whatever happens.
None of mine say fate. Any of yours say fate?
No.
Okay. Also, in every game, you're going to start with your tile choice. This tile actually has 2 relic marks on the front side and on the back side. Now, me and Anna have not played with the back side. It may change some things because then these marks are going to be closer to certain characters. So you can see those there. And they look kind of like, maybe in the camera they look like pi symbols, but they're I don't know what you want to call that.
Like a pagoda type thing.
Yeah.
So that tile.
I've seen them like in pictures and stuff, but I can't remember. I don't know what the name of them. So, anyways, this tile will be the main tile for the game, and then each character is going to pick a tile of their own. So Anna will pick that tile. I will just pick one at random, and I'm just going to do the sand garden.
And each tile has different symbols on them, like mountain terrain, healing terrain. That's like a road.
Now this looks like a paw.
Yeah, but it's a foot.
But it is a foot, and then these little hash marks are like running because on your first movement, which we'll show you that, this tile will be free. And then at the end of your movement, if that's the first available, you're actually allowed to take that as your 4th space, which I read in the rulebook later and didn't know that, so now I do.
And then these are 2 movement points to enter into, and then the heal, you can heal, which will show you that.
Yeah, and the only time that you're going to use adapt is when a card says so. So most of the time, you're going to have the play around overview,
and this
not objectives.
This card's very specific with wording. So you need to look at wording, and there's keywords right here on the tome book, and then there's also keywords in the rule book. And if you ever have a question, you can refer to the rule book. But if a card says use, or if you use a card, if it does not say lose, you always put it at the bottom of your deck because your deck is your life.
Which is a really cool mechanic. I've only seen one other game that has your deck being your life, and that is in Pathfinder ACG.
I feel like
So
there's
this
one
is
more,
kind of a
but I
cool-
just can't remember what it is.
So everything is set up. We have our cards shuffled. I shuffled mine just a little bit more just to maybe mix them up a little bit better. I got my tokens. Anna has her tokens. And we'll let Anna... Actually, we have to do this first.
This is called the Destiny phase. There's 3 steps to the Destiny phase. Destiny step, Reconcile step, and the Initiative step. So the first step is the Destiny step. And what you do is you put, based on players, you put an amount of tokens out here. 1 per each player, and then each player gets 1. But the ones that are out here automatically go in the order, move, attack, move, attack. So if there's 2 players, there's 1 move, 1 attack. If there's 3 players, there's 1 move, 2 moves, 1 attack. If that makes sense. And those are always there starting at the Destiny phase. Then we secretly select, we need to place our Kami
I was
Masters.
getting ready to say that. We have to actually place our masters on any piece of our tile that we want to. So Anna will start at the edge. I will start here. So now we can go on to the Destiny phase now that we've chosen our spot on our tiles.
So we secretly put our thing out there.
Oh man, I picked the wrong one. I actually wanted the other one, but
So now there are 4 tokens in there. So each player gets 2 actions, and that will show you how that plays. Then there's the reconcile step. You start with your hand size, which is played on your card. It says how many karma cards you start with, your hand size, and then your movement. So my hand size is 4.
mine is 3. And it also has your speed on there. I don't know if you might have said that.
And at this point, you can put the cards at the bottom of the deck and draw new ones if you want.
Yes, and instead of rolling for initiative, we actually draw for initiative.
So we each take a card and put it in the karma pool.
So from your character deck,
And mine is a 4.
yes, and if you're tie at 4, then you'll go to the attack amount.
Mine's a 6.
And mine is a 4, so Anna will take the initiative.
So I go first. Now this starts the battle phase. So you can take a tome action, which is focus, which means you get to take a card from your battle deck and put it on your karma pool. Or you get to delve, which means you can turn 1 page in your tome book, forward or backward, but you can't go from like the front page to the back page or the back page to the front page.
And that also will bring me, I just want to put this in there as a note, and maybe Anna was getting ready to go there, but your tome deck is actually numbered, like right here, as like Rossimiu number 1, so that'd be page number 1. And when they say flip a page, that means you can only flip 1 page. Now you can look through your pages as you want,
But you have to go back.
You have to go right back to wherever your book actually was, which is a really cool mechanic.
And the third thing you can do is you can pay karma for the abilities on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay 2
Go ahead.
karma to use my ability. Now when you pay for something, I have 1 card that says 4, 1 card that says 1, and 1 card that says 7. So this costs 2. I can only play, I can play the 1 and something, but that would be stupid. I can pay my 4, and I use it so it goes at the bottom of my deck, but I don't get to roll over those karma. You just use it. So it's better when you have things that are even, but that's going to put a burn token. I'm going to put 1 here and here.
And that's because you choose, right?
Yeah, choose 2 unoccupied spaces on your board to gain bird status. So whatever board I'm on is my board, not confused with the board that I choose.
So the reason that she would put those burn tokens on there is because my character, say if I have nowhere else to go and I walk through one of those, then that burn token will actually go on my character, and then it will do lapsed damage to me, unless during our phase where we take the deck and put it into our initiative flip, that will, if it's 5 or higher on the karma count, then that will remove the burn and I won't take that 1 point of damage. Otherwise, if I don't have that high of a 5 or higher, I will take 1 point of damage that when I fail that flip.
And on your attack, and then I'm going to take an attack thing, so that's going to be used, and you can take a move, and your move, you get to move your movement, and you can turn and face in whatever direction you want, and I'm going to play Tortoise's Path, and if you can see, it goes 1, 2, 3, so he's in the path, and it's a 6 attack, so 6 damage, and are you able to block it? They can block it with 1 card.
Yeah, I can either repost, which I have a card that lets me, when I can use this, but I'll lose the card and it'll go to my discard, not recharged into my health stack. But I will lose the card, I can prevent 2 damage and deal 3 damage back to the attacker, and then that puts her on the defense and she's able to play the defense. Or I can do dodge, where I can lose this card and exert. Now exert, that means I lose this card to my discard, and then I have to take the top card of my deck and also put it in the discard as an exert to move 1 space. And if I move 1 space out of where her attack hits, then that nulls all damage and I don't get hit. So basically it's like she's casting this fireball coming at me. I know it's not a fireball, but let's just say it was. A fireball coming at me, and my dude just jumps out of the way because he's got like good acrobatics and agility. So in that instance, I will just go ahead and do that. So this, I will make this my discard pile. I'm going to move my karma over here so we don't get confused. So this is my discard. So I lose this card, and then I exert. And to know if you actually will step out or not, you can pick the other player card up. At least we do. You can pick that player's card up, see the pattern, and then move your guy to a space that you think you can get out of the way. Sometimes you can't get out of the way. You're completely surrounded. You're going to take the hit either way. But in this instance, it's a straight line, so I can take my guy and I can just move over to the right, to the side, or I could have came back.
And so since it wasn't a hit, my adapt ability doesn't take over, which my adapt ability is on this side, which he would get burnt. And so this card was used. It was not lost. So it goes back in so I don't lose health for playing cards. And then that would end my turn because I took my combat action and my tome action. These are your combat action, whether it's move or attack. And then it would be Tim's turn.
Yes. So I also
and you can
want
do those
to,
in any order. I just want to clarify. You can attack. You can do your combat and then your tome, or your tome and then your combat.
So basically what Anna just said was what was coming out of my mouth. So yes, you can do your attack first or your tome in any order. You can only just do one or the other. So, and your attack isn't always an attack. It could be a move. So you only get a move or attack.
I thought you said moo.
Yes, you can moo like
It could
a cow.
be a moo.
So since Anna showed you the attacks, I'm going to show you how movement works. And especially since I have a tile that gives me one free movement space. Now there's two different ways that this can work. You can either use that first point as a free point to move. So my guy has a max of 3, but with this free spot, I can move here, count it as 0, and then go 1, 2, 3, and then go towards like the relics or
That's silly.
whatever I could do. Now the other option, just for example, even if it is silly, I could move 1, 2, 3, and even though I extinguished all of my movement, I can still use that free space on the end of my movement. But anyways, this is what, and then, you know what, I'll go ahead and show you guys how the burn token works. So let's say I don't have to cash in 1 there, but we'll count that as 0, and then this will be 1. And then these little triangles count as 2, so 2, 3. So I'm going to take the burn token, go ahead and put that on my guy. So that was my combat action, or my combat phase. And now I'm going to do a tome action, where I have 2 options. I can either remove a status from my master to gain a spirit status, or I may spend an attack action to perform a move action. So I can either move and go to the healing zone, which is right here. I'll move my miniature so you guys see that it's right there, but I will just leave my miniature right where it's at. I will go ahead and pay the 3, so I'm going to have to cash in a 4, use that as a recharge or replenish on the bottom of my deck, whatever word you prefer to use, and that's going to change the burn status over to a spirit status, which was an awesome strategy, and I'm doing this on the fly. So that is how you move, that's how you attack, that's how all the cards are going to work.
I want you would play until these are gone. Then you go back to the Destiny phase where you fill this attack pool. Then you draw your cards up to your hand size.
Which
and then,
we can go ahead and just continue and just show all that played out.
Okay.
So, Anna, you can pick a token, or
so it's my
you
turn.
can do your tome first.
So I'll do my tome.
So are you going to turn a page, or?
Yeah, I'll turn a page. I'll turn a page, and then I'm going to take the attack. I'm going to leave you with the move. And I'm going to turn, and I'm going to do Snapping Jaws right here. So it does 1, 2, 3.
No, I thought you were going to do Snapping Jaws over there.
Yeah. And it's an attack of 7.
Okay, now let me see if I have anything that will let me... An attack of 7? Okay, well, I'm going to prevent 2 damage and deal 3 to you in a riposte move.
Okay. So
and that's also considered a used card. So that
one's used?
Well, I lose this one because, but say if I was using it as a, let's say it didn't say lose on. If it didn't say lose, that's technically a used card and it would go back in the deck. But this one says lose, so it's going to go over here. Okay. And it prevents 2, but deals 3 back to you. So do you have anything to double fight my 3?
No.
So you take 3. And I take 5.
So you're going to take 5.
So I would count on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4,
So this card,
5.
since it got used,
And that goes
it
over here.
goes down here. And I take 3 damage. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to put this on the other side to keep it separate from my thing. He likes to set his up different than I like to set mine up. And then, what was it? And then you get burnt because of my adaptability. Right? Wait. Is that what it said? I didn't read.
I get a burn.
Never mind. This one doesn't have the adapt on it. So it's your turn now?
Okay, so I guess I get to move again. Woohoo! Yeah, big time. I'm gonna smash you with my boot as I move. Let's go 1, 2, 3. And the reason I do that is because do we have to take all of our movement? Okay. Well, let's just say I'm wandering around in circles and I stumbled into a magical potion. So when you land on that, you get to take the top card of your discard deck and throw it or set it under there.
So you're healing.
Throwing might not be. Yes, so you'll heal 1 point. So sometimes, and I may be giving my strategy away of what I was doing last game when I actually played, when we played a full game, is my guy had 3 movement, so I'd be like 1, 2, 3, and come right back to the heart and then heal another card. But also, and that was only because I had move tokens to pick up. If I had attack tokens, then I would try to land an attack. So all the tokens are gone. Next step is...
And did you do your tome action?
Did I? No, I didn't.
Why don't you focus? Show them how you focus.
Oh, yes, I'm going to focus right now. Focus is one of the tome actions, and what that's going to do is take the top card of your character's deck, place it into your karma pool, and give you more karma. And I just gained 9 karma because I focused.
Okay, so now, do you have the burn token on you? No, you shouldn't.
I should not.
Okay, but if he did, we'll show you how that goes. So now it's the destiny step. So we have 1 move,
for
1
visuals,
attack.
So let's say if I had the burn token on me, just for visuals, the burn token is there. I no longer have the spirit.
So we put out the automatic 1 move, 1 attack, and then we each select. And then we can reconcile, so we draw up to our hand size. And you can discard, or not discard, you can place at the bottom of your deck. And
there's also some cards in this setup in particular for my character that will actually put me up. Oh no, that's not right. When I lose all my life, I would go to restored. So since I'm talking about that, when you go to restored, you have the chance to bring other characters down with you.
If there's like more than 2 players.
Yes. On 2 players, you just play till the first person dies.
You can get killed. That's if you go through your deck twice. So you're restored and then you go through it and then you're done. You have no more turns.
Yeah, but I feel like the restored side should be wounded more than restored.
I mean, it's common language, so.
I know, but he's wounded physically. He's bleeding. Anyways.
But it's a cool thing. So if you die and you lost the game, you can still play. And what that kind of helps too is you can do a 2v2 or like a 1v2 or something like that. But you can basically bring other people down while you're still there, and you're not like out of the game where you have to sit like werewolf. So then we do the initiative step again.
Why is it always the game that gets referenced?
I don't know.
Like werewolf.
Go ahead, let's do the initiative.
We eliminated you. Alright, initiative roll.
And I got a 3.
I got a 5.
So the 5 will take off his burn.
Yay.
If he didn't take it off, it would then cause him 1 damage where he would have to discard 1 card. And then Tim would go first, and that's how the game plays. You go until someone dies. That shows you a whole kind of full circle round. And that is how the game plays.
And I was gonna say, what happens when you run out of character cards? That's when you die. Like I just had like a little space out right there.
Oh, something important too. There are some abilities here, like equip.
Yes, I have the red page.
You have to go and refer to this, and then I don't have.
Here, I'll do mine.
Yours, yeah.
Yes, mine says one with all is the page.
Is it
and it says imprint. I would have to pay 8 karma points. What would happen is that 8 karma points.
It gets ripped out of your tome.
Yes, and goes onto the bottom of my deck And then what I have to do is wait for it to circulate from the bottom of the deck all the way up to the top of the deck until it's on top like this. So you can see it. I can obviously already see it. So when it's like this, then you'll do the bottom text. The bottom text of mine says, if you do not have spirit status, gain spirit status. Otherwise, look at the top 4 cards of your battle deck and return them in any order you choose. So if I don't have one, I get one, and then I go over here and do the...
so you don't. I think we determined it wrong.
Right.
Otherwise is or.
But if I already had one, then I would
Do
go
that
up and be able to do that ability.
And it really doesn't take long. I mean, it's a very quick battle. As many cards as you have, like you're doing.
As long as somebody's
not
not going like this, 1, 2, 3, heal. 1, 2, 3, heal.
Yeah, like you.
Yeah, because I healed, came back, and I ended up beating you. So it was kind of cool. All right, so that is it. That is how you play. I think we covered everything. If you guys have any questions, please let us know. So let's go ahead and go over to the conclusion and tell you guys what we think about Yashima. Alright guys, so if you don't think this game is badass by now, then I don't know what to tell you. But this game is amazing. You guys need to go out and get a copy. This was printed in 2014, so there's plenty of copies available. It's not hard to get or anything. It does have 2 expansions that look really awesome that I am hopefully going to maybe go out and acquire those if they're not too expensive. And I'm going to try to get those, and then we'll bring you guys some like unboxings or something of those and show you guys those. But it is 2 to 4 players. It is 45 minutes to play a full game, and is rated for ages 14 and up.
And 2-player, it was less than 45, I think. It was probably about a half an hour.
Yeah, I mean the first game probably took a little while because we were learning the rules and trying to verify and everything. Like the tome actions. We were a little confused on some of the wording.
You were.
Well, that's because there was one thing that said that when you use a card for a tome action and it goes over that, or something to that effect, that you have to use that whole cost of that card. You can't use the remaining on another tome. When it said another tome, I thought that meant, oh, but I can use the remaining karma on another tome. But no. You can't. You can only do 1 tome.
No, the question was, how many tome abilities you could use per turn if you take one.
That's exactly what I said.
That's not what you said. It sounded more confusing.
That's what I meant.
You made it sound more confusing.
They knew what I was talking about.
Did you? Tell me. Did you know exactly what he was saying?
Probably not. So it's kind of cool that they've taken some of the mechanics of a card game and the mechanics of a miniatures game and put them together into one game and just kind of smashed them together and made it work. It wasn't one of those games where you're like, what? There's too much stuff going on with the cards. There's too much stuff going on with the miniatures. I can't keep track.
It plays so easy.
Yeah, I know that there's people out there that are like, I have too much ADD. I can't focus and do this game. I seriously have ADHD, and I did fine on winning this game. It's almost like playing 2 games at the same time. You're playing a miniatures game and tactically moving your guy, and then you're using your cards, hoping that you're going to get the good draw and have that attack lined up either with the cards you already have in your hand or the card that's getting ready to flop over on your deck. But can be changed by your enemy saying you're going to have to take some damage, which I've taken damage sometimes playing this game, and I would have all the cards, all my high power cards, be trash and be taken out. So then I have to go to a healing mark and try to heal those back before I get more damage put on me again. So hopefully there's a move token. So you have to strategize if there's a move token, attack token, cards in your hand, cards in your deck, miniature placement.
Like it was super overwhelming when I started reading the rule book, but then once I started, like before I read the rule book, I was like, first off, I hate reading rule books. That's just, he makes me do it. That is my job. I have to read the rule books and I hate doing it. And so I saw this, and I don't know if it's the art on the box, like it's an awesome picture of a dragon, but it's such a detailed picture that I think I felt overwhelmed that the rule book was going to be extremely detailed. And
okay, so you basically judged a game by the box.
Yeah. Yeah, that happened.
Rule number 1, don't do that.
I was like really intimidated by this game at first, and when he handed it to us, I was like, okay. But I am so glad we got this game because it is so much fun. And I told Tim, I said, I think it's my favorite, like, 2-player battle game. Like, obviously you could play more than 2 players, but it's usually just us, if you haven't heard that enough from our reviews. But it was so much fun, and it was so easy to read the rule book and understand everything. And not to mention, there's a glossary and reference cards. So there's a reference cards to tell you how to take your turn, how to do the destiny step, how to do your combat step. It's all in there. And then if you have a question about one of the text, it puts it in bold word so you can look it up somewhere else and figure out what you need to do with that card. And it just played so wonderful, and I absolutely love this game, and I would never have probably picked this game up in a million years. But I'm so glad, and I've learned a lesson through that.
To not judge a game by its cover.
Right. And
it's
it's a beautiful picture. Like, I mean, this picture is amazing, but it's just so detailed and tiny detailed, and I think I'm probably more of a cartoony person, or like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm not much.
What you're saying is that you were intimidated by
the dress.
Something that was.
I think
the art is. I don't want to say the art is minuscule to a game. It does bring your attention to the game, and everything like that. But it was something that should have never had a factor in. Because you didn't even judge the book. You didn't judge the game by the art. You judged the rule book by the art.
I judged everything by the art.
Your wording was, the art's really detailed. The rule book is going to be detailed.
Yeah, but it just like it. I think that I just
and that's not entirely true. I know a game. I'm not going to say the name of the title. The artwork can use a huge overhaul, but it has a very detailed rule book. And I have made my own table of contents that I plan to put on BGG for everyone. But I'm not going to say the name of the game because I don't have anybody to have hard feelings. But hopefully they don't watch this video. But anyways, this is a really good game. You guys need to pick it up. Greenbrier Games. And the guys there are great.
Yeah, Jeff is super nice, and they're awesome on Twitter. And it just, I feel bad that I prejudged the game. And I am so glad that I was able to have that lighten up.
Yeah, well,
Wake me up to the light.
Okay, so I was going to explain the whole thing on the front end of the video, but since we're at the conclusion and we basically told you the game is awesome, well, I told you it was badass, but so it's badassomeness. That's even a word. What was I going to say? Oh, we were at the booth talking to Alex, and Alex from Fairy Tale Games and Greenbrier Games. They shared a booth, so everything was there for both parties.
Artistic Justice Games, not Fairy Tale. He has a Fairy Tale game, but
Artistic Justice Studios. It's AGS. AJS.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yes, I'm always
No,
right.
it's G.
What?
It's
Games?
Yeah.
Is it Games?
Artistic Justice Games.
I can't keep track of the third letter and everything. I'm never right. So we're sitting there at the booth, and
we had to get. He gave us a review copy of Fairy Tale Games.
Yeah, he offered. Well, we were going there to just let them know that they were gonna have a game out of inventory for a review copy, and then Greenbrier Games asked us, "Well, would you guys like to do a review for Yashima?" And this is the only time I've seen Anna hesitate on, not because we were getting a free game, not that, but hesitated on wanting to do a review of a game. I was like, well, we always want to do reviews of games. We love bringing games we don't know, or games we do know, to the channel for you guys to watch. So it was just, I was like, well, yeah, we've never played it, but why not? We'll give it a try. We'll give it a shot. So, 10 games later, we finally get to the point where we want to make the video.
Well, this was one of the rules I read early on because I was intimidated by it. So I wanted to see if I could read the rules, understand it, and then play. So I read this rule book right after I read Rum and Bones. So I had the mental, and when I read the book, I thought, oh my gosh, this sounds awesome. I can't wait to play it. And then we completed some other reviews, and then I said, okay, Tim, let's play this game. Let's get this review rolling. And what I thought from what I read the rule book really came to life on the board, and it's a great game. I really Like, I could probably cry right now because I feel so bad for judging it by its cover. And it's not a bad cover. It's not a bad cover. It's not bad artwork. It's nothing like that. The card artwork is beautiful. The cover is beautiful. Our son just sits there and he's like, ooh, dragon, dragon. But, like, it was just intimidating to me. And I don't know if it's the commie map. I don't know what intimidated me, but I love the theme. I love everything about it. I have no negatives to this game. Not one. Not one. Do you? You nitpick everything.
I would have to. I don't think so.
I mean, it just plays well. It's easy to set up. It's easy to play. This would be one of those games that I would travel with, you know, like...
Yeah. Well, there's one thing that's really awesome. It's not in the game. It's actually in their videos that I've seen on YouTube. If you haven't seen... excuse me. If you haven't seen any of their videos, and you don't necessarily need to watch the whole video. It's just their intro. Their intro is awesome. I was actually going to contact and be like, hey, can we use your intro in our video? But I didn't do that because I didn't want to take someone else's work and just plug it into my videos. But it was really cool, and I think you guys should at least check out their channel, Greenbrier Games, on YouTube. And you should be able to just punch it in, or punch in Yashima, and then it'll pull up their videos. But this guy is walking out onto like this like pier-looking thing, and then this explosion goes off in the water, and you can tell it looks like, you know, the end of the world. And I was like, I thought it was an ad on YouTube. I was like, wow, this must be an ad for the new Fallout 4 or something. And then the guy turned around, had the gas mask on, which Fallout 4, they have the gas mask on, and turned around. And then it turned into the logo of the Greenbrier Games, and then, like, you know, showed their logo and everything, and the guy with their little mask and everything. So I was completely fooled, thought it was a Fallout 4 video. Turned out being a Greenbrier Games intro to their videos. So if you guys get a chance, check that out. It's really awesome. You guys can follow them on Twitter at Greenbrier Games. And you can follow us at Geeked Up Gaming and the number 1. So you guys can keep getting updates when we're uploading videos and everything else. Check us out on geekedupgaming.weebly.com. We're going to try to put more content on that webpage. I know we were really heavy during Gen Con and then just kind of dwindled away. We kind of need to kind of pick it up on
learning, playing, and filming.
Yeah, so we've learned a lot of games. Still a lot of games to go through, and bring some videos up. So yeah, check it out. Greenbrier Games-Yashima. What is it? Legends. Legend of the Kami Masters. I can never remember the secondary titles of the games. It's always the main big word, Yashima. And that's every game. It's just me in my memory. So Greenbrier Games, Yashima,
pick up this game for
Legend
realsies.
Like Masters.
For realsies, it's a good one.
But don't say for realsies when you
can
go to
say
the
for
counter.
realsies.
I need to buy this for realsies.
You can do that. It's okay.
I need to buy this with money. That money right there is legit.
Don't say legit.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.